score.
As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
Well, I thought about going with Deebo Samuel, $73.5 million extension, $58.1 million in guarantees. Pretty big contract. We've continued to see these wide receivers this offseason signing massive contracts, and Deebo Samuel is the latest, and they were able to get it done right here before they really got things kicked off, and that's big for them. He is, in my opinion, one of the most well-rounded offensive players in the entire NFL. He's a one-of-a-kind type of guy, so pretty impressive there with that number. I think that's even though it's big, I think it's a good deal for San Fran.
Also, a good reminder that even though a guy says he wants to be traded, you don't have to trade him.
That's true.
And
that's true.
If you're willing to give him a ton of money, he may change his mind.
Yeah, all of a sudden he won't want to be traded anymore.
Yeah, all of a sudden things can change. So these fan bases that get a little freaked out when a guy say, hey, I want to be traded. You don't have to trade him. You can be patient. You don't have to overreact. Just a good reminder.
Yep. While he hit the jackpot on a new contract, my real winner is the actual jackpot, the Mega Millions, Gabe. $1.337 billion was won. One ticket wins it all. Here's the numbers: 13, 36, 45, 57, 67, and the mega ball of 14, which happened to be the exact numbers I always play, and I just didn't play them this last week. No, I would. I'm done with. No, if that was the case, I would probably be in a really bad spot mentally right now. But
that would have been a, hey man, can't do the podcast. I need some me time situation.
Yeah, if you don't hear from me in a couple of days, you might want to do a welfare check. But one ticket, $1.337 billion, bought at a place, was a speedway in Illinois. How about that? That is some financial security right there.
Yes. And have you seen any of these people that go bankrupt after winning the lottery? Have you seen any of these stories?
Yeah. It's really sad, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I was reading some stuff because I was trying to read about, and then I went down a rabbit hole of reading these stories about people where it like almost ruins their lives. It's crazy.
I think a bunch of people end up committing suicide.
Oh, wow. That got dark.
Yeah. Yeah. I watched the documentary on it. It's pretty bad. They, a lot of times end up being big targets for scams and bad investments. And, every family member they've ever come across has the greatest idea ever. And it's just, it can be tough, but if you handle it properly, like $1.337 billion is almost impossible to screw up,
But the taxes.
Oh man. Yeah.
Did you see the thing? So I saw there was a person that won the big one, right? Mm-hmm. But then the Mega Millions also said that there was the jackpot winner, but there were 26 tickets that matched the 5 white balls.
Yeah.
So they all won, I think, $1 million.
$1 million. Yeah. Yep.
That wouldn't suck either.
No, if you got the 5 tickets without getting the mega ball, you got $1 million, which is awesome. But a far cry from $1.33 billion.
Correct.
It's crazy.
I would take either, preferably the 1.3 bill, but I'd take the $1 million. Oh,
it's hard to even fathom how quickly, like I think, and I haven't read on this one, but I feel like the last time someone won $1 billion, like as soon as they turned in the numbers, before they like make the full transfer and everything, I think they gave them like a quick little like $40 million. And it's like, oh my God, like just like that amount of money. It's crazy to think about that you're not even $40 million isn't even touching the surface of what you're about to get.
Okay. This is a pretty generic question. It's not very original, but you win that. What's the first thing you're buying?
I honestly, I don't know. I really don't know.
I think I would get a new car. I drive a 2014. It's a nice car, but I think, and I really like my car. And it's an actual car, not an SUV. That surprises a lot of people. I don't know. I kind of just like cars, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think
That's
I
the
would
quickest and
upgrade the car.
easiest splurge you can do. Like you can go do that like in one day. Everything
Yeah.
else requires like a lot of work. But within a quick amount of time, I would like to acquire a set of homes in different areas of the country that I'm in a constant rotation between.
I like that.
Like vacation home type of situations.
That's a good use. And real estate. It's a good investment.
Real estate. Yep.
Smart guy. See, you wouldn't go bankrupt. Look at you.
I don't know. I am I can spend money with the best of them, man. I can spend money with the best of them.
All right, we'll just leave it there. Who do you have as your loser of the week? End.
I had to go with Lincoln Riley. And it's interesting. I think a lot of things are going really well for USC right now. They are getting a lot of attention. They're getting a lot of notoriety out there. And that's advertising that you can't even put a price tag on, right? But we heard, like talking with Dusty earlier, they're the team right now that is getting the most bets to win a national championship. They've got the fourth or fifth best odds per Vegas. There's a lot of talk about how good they're going to be. And there was this LA Times article that came out by, I think you pronounce it Plaschke, Bill Plaschke.
Yeah, the guy, he used to be on Pardon the Interruption. What's the one where they hit the buzzer with Tony Reale?
Oh yeah, it's
God, what's it called?
They get points. Yeah,
Around the Horn.
Around the Horn. Yeah,
nailed it.
Here's the opening. Here's the way it starts off. They have a millionaire coach who lives in a mansion. They have a charismatic quarterback with a huddle full of endorsements. They're loaded with high-priced free agents who came here for a chance to reap the rewards of Hollywood. To nobody's surprise, they've become Los Angeles' most popular professional football team. Rich, rollicking, and seemingly headed this winter for SoFi Stadium stardom. The Rams? Nope. The Chargers? Think again. It's the USC Trojans, college football's merry band of opportunists who head into this season with the stars in their eyes and a target on their back. And he says that the honeymoon is over with all of the things that have been done, with all that's been talked about. They have a massive target on their back, and anything less than a championship is going to be a disappointment. So I feel like Lincoln Riley has gone out there and they've done a good job really promoting that he's there and pushing the narrative. But the other side of that is, like, if it doesn't work, and it doesn't work really well, and it doesn't work really well really quickly, there's going to be a lot of criticism thrown his way. And he has coached pretty much his entire career outside of any type of real scrutiny. And it's going to be totally different out there at USC with all of the things that they've done and the changes that they've made and the investments that they've made. If things don't go well, the scrutiny is going to come locally, and it's going to come nationally, and it's going to come fast.
It's what he signed up for.
It's exactly right.
So I agree with you. Now, what they've done in the portal and building that roster quickly, it's been impressive. Right? You and I both, we had the same conversations. with some of the guys that are on that staff now about what that roster looked like when they got there day one. It wasn't good. Now, it's extremely challenging to bring that many guys from that many places and to get them to play really well together in year one. I mean, that's not easy. There's still a chemistry and relationship component to this game that I think some people forget about sometimes now with the transfer portal and how you can move around. But it's going to be absolutely fascinating to see what happens with them this year. We're going to be paying close attention to it, but we don't have to pretend like we're not.
I just think that the kind of the way that they've gone about it is like, it's been so in your face that they're not going to get themselves any time.
They have not tempered expectations at all with their approach.
Listen to this paragraph. So much, so fast, so unnerving. Has there ever been a team in this town under more deserved preseason scrutiny than this one? Has there ever been a college team anywhere that will enter a season with more unearned swagger?
Bill Plaschke's good at what he does, man. He's been riding for a long time.
Woo, man.
It'll be interesting, and we'll talk about it, right? I mean, there's no doubt about it. So we'll see how it goes for the Trojans. I have said, and I will continue to say, if they win 8 games in year one, that's a success.
Yep.
New conference, bunch of new players, new surroundings, places you've never coached, places you've never been, like a lot of new for a lot of people there. So if they can win 8 games, now I don't know if USC fans will view that as a success, but I would say, hey, that's pretty dang good if they win 8. Now, if they do better than that, then I'll give them their props. There's no doubt. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs. Checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all. Whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone, everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. First Fidelity Bank provides free ATMs worldwide, making banking convenient wherever you are. They also give back to the community. FFB donates a total of more than $500,000 to local charities and educational foundations. Make your life easier and go bank with First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information.
And if you are a whiskey or bourbon drinker, stop what you are doing. Head to your favorite liquor store and buy some Balcones products. You got to grab some of Balcones Lineage Single Malt Whiskey. It was just voted one of the top 20 whiskeys in the world by Whiskey Advocate, and you'll be shocked by how affordable it is. Also, you got to snag some of Balcones Baby Blue Corn Whiskey.
It's made from blue corn. That's the fancy corn.
And that is why it has won more than 25 awards. Last but certainly not least, you got to buy some of Balcones Pot Still Bourbon. Its big flavors make it the perfect bourbon to drink year round. In 2012, Balcones Single Malt won the Best in Glass competition, beating brands like Johnny Walker and Macallan, and became the first American distillery to win the competition. This stuff is the real deal, people. If you love great whiskey and bourbon at a great price, then Balcones products are the only way to go. The whiskey may be made in Texas, but the owners, they're from Oklahoma. To find a liquor store that has it, visit balconesdistilling.com. All right, for my winner of the weekend, thought about going with all basketball fans because Charles Barkley is not going to Live Golf, baby. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, that was scary.
It was scary. I thought something was going to happen to Inside the NBA. It's the best studio show on television. I was nervous, but he said they're through. It ain't happening. Said he's going to retire at Turner. Thank God.
Probably just gave him possibly a little bit of bargaining power with Turner, and I love Barkley.
Wait. You're saying he pulled a Mike Gundy?
Yeah, sure. Why not? It's how these
flirtation.
things work. Yeah, I love Barkley, but I don't know that it would have been worth the investment on their part to have Barkley on there talking golf. Like a guest appearance every now and then, Absolutely. But paying him to be there at every event, I don't know. I think he's better served in basketball for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I also thought about going with England. Did you watch any of the women's Euro final?
Did not.
It was pretty damn fun to watch. And England beat Germany in the Euro final. I watched quite a bit, and it was in London at Wembley Stadium. Looked like an absolute fun time.
That's cool. That's good. Yeah. If the environment there is big time, that's got to be a lot of fun. And I know they take it seriously over there, so it's always good to see someone give it to Germany a little bit. That's cool.
And what eventually ended up being the winning goal in extra time, girl ripped the shirt off, sports bra, think she was going for the Brandy Chastain.
Knee slide?
No, her teammates like smothered her, so she couldn't do anything cool. They ruined it.
Dang.
And even after, like, one chick is helping her out, and she's like, "You need to put it back on." Like, can she have her moment? She's trying to get on the cover of every magazine. Leave her alone.
Yeah, I mean, she's trying to get a deal with Nike or wherever the sports bra was made. Like that's the easiest thing you could do.
Understand the moment, please.
Jeez.
But my winner of the weekend, conference drama. Give it all to me, because George Kliavoff fired some shots at Pac-12 Media Days. And for some reason, even though I think his anger is in the wrong place, all of his anger is focused on the Big 12 right now. And I got to give the guy credit. This was one of the best lines I've ever heard from a commissioner regarding, kind of the realignment and Brett Yormark's comment at Big 12 Media Days, where he said the Big 12 was open for business. This is what George Kliavoff had to say. With respect to the Big 12 being open for business, I appreciate that. We haven't decided if we're going shopping there yet or not.
Yeah, that's a great line. He's selling hard over there.
I got to give him credit. Fantastic line. Haven't decided whether we're going there or not yet. That's going shopping there or not yet. It's a fantastic line. But I mean, he said he's defending the Pac-12 from grenades that have been launched lobbed from every corner of the Big 12, trying to destabilize the Pac-12. Said he gets why the Big 12 is scared. It was really just laser focused on roasting the Big 12. But he said some pretty effective things, but I couldn't get that. Is he really this confident? He can't be, right? It seemed more like an act to me.
That's what I'm saying. This is the short stack at the poker table with a final feeble attempt at a bluff, knowing that everyone else at the table has better cards. He's given shots to the Big 12. Why doesn't he talk about Phil Knight openly calling everyone else in the country trying to get Oregon out of the Pac-12? Like he's picking someone who's not really even the problem for him and trying to throw some focus on the Big 12. The Big 12's not scared. They're actually in a really good position in my opinion. They've already set up some new members that are coming in. I think they're going to have a super competitive conference with some really good teams. They had a team win the Sugar Bowl last year. Baylor pounded Ole Miss. Oklahoma State. Did they play in the Fiesta Bowl?
Yeah, won it.
Come back against Notre Dame. Against Notre Dame. He's barking up the wrong tree. I'm not going to sit here and act like the Big 12 is the SEC or the Big 10, but
I know what he's doing. He looked around the room, and he's George Kliavoff, right? And he looked at a big jack dude that is the SEC and was like, nope, no thanks. He looked at a really jack dude that is the Big 10 and was like, nope, don't want to fight that guy. He saw the Big 12 and he was like, I think that could be a decent fight. Let's go after them. He wanted nobody because he really didn't say much, at least from what I heard, say many critical things about the Big Ten, who just took USC and UCLA. All of his anger seemed to be laser focused on the Big 12. It was odd.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. He's the commissioner of the Pac-12. And there's been discussions about a merger between the Big 12 and the Pac-12. And I think there's something interesting there, perhaps. Depending on what else might happen. But he's not going to lobby for something that really leaves him jobless. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not going to enter into something that is probably going to make what I do and what we have here non-existent.
Yeah. So I get why he had to do what he did, but it was hyper aggressive, man. It was pretty interesting. Also, just one other Pac-12 thing. Did you see that story in the LA Times that I guess last year, Pac-12 presidents, athletic directors talking about expansion, and the USC president, I can't remember when she took over, but she was new, was the one that kind of said, I don't know, let's shut that down. We're good. And then they end up leaving. I found that rather interesting. That's pretty juicy, man.
Yeah, it is. I would like to know what the expansion talk was, like who they were talking about expanding with. You know what I'm saying? Like, who were they targeting? Was it shut down because they were targeting Oklahoma and we're also targeting Oklahoma's coach?
That's where I didn't know if it was like the expansion. Was it, was it in reaction to OU and Texas leaving? That's what I understood, but I wasn't entirely, or no, I don't know, because that doesn't make sense. It had to have been before, right?
Who knows? I think everyone,
or maybe she didn't want, maybe it had to have been after OU and Texas announced they were leaving. Yeah. And then, they're like, hey, let's capitalize. I don't know. Maybe USC to the Big Ten had been in the works for that long. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
But
hey, we don't want to strengthen the Pac-12. We don't want to solidify this thing. We're out of here.
I hope someday there's some type of documentary or something that these people are everyone that is in these positions of knowing these backroom deals and conversations, like how it all played out, who's been talking to who, like what those meetings were like, how contentious were they, what was being said behind closed doors. That would all be fascinating.
I told Joe Castiglione that if he doesn't write a book about the COVID year, everything he dealt with through that, and then the decision to take OU to the SEC, if he doesn't write that book, I'm going to be really pissed. Because that would be fascinating.
It would. It'd be great.
Yeah. All right, for my loser of the weekend, I know I made basketball fans my winner, but I also thought about making them my loser. Hell, it may be all sports fans. Lost a legend, Bill Russell. I've read so much about him over the years. Lose him on Sunday at the age of 88, and just seemed, kind of a larger than life figure in the sports world, certainly in the basketball world. But 2 NCAA titles, gold medal, 11 NBA titles, 5 MVPs, 12-time All-Star, just an incredible player and the best winner in the history of basketball. And not only a massive impact on the court, clearly with what he did with the Celtics, massive impact off the court with civil rights, with stuff, things are in place in the NBA because Bill Russell fought for them, things that benefit the players now. And that's probably why he ended up getting a Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the highest honor you can get living in this country as a civilian. So really bummed me out seeing that on Sunday. But then all those videos, like him flipping off Barkley, remember he's on stage that said, I'd still kick your ass like that. He just seemed like an absolute delight.
Yeah, and there's still a not insignificant portion of NBA fans that say the talk between the greatest of all time being Michael Jordan and the new age fans with LeBron James say it's neither one of those guys. The greatest of all time is Bill Russell, and he has all of the hardware to prove it. So yeah, hated to see that, but the man lived a good, long life and has left just an amazing legacy.
Right. Yeah. I think that's all of our goal, right?
Yep.
Leave a legacy, and he certainly is leaving a massive one. All right. I also thought about going with you. Dan Mullen, your guy. Dan Mullen is going to be, according to our buddy Brett McMurphy, Dan Mullen is going to be joining ESPN as a studio analyst. I can't wait for you to have to listen to what Dan Mullen has to say again.
You think he's going to be an arrogant clown again whenever he's on ESPN, or was that just reserved for whenever he was a coach?
I think he's going to be entertaining. I'm not sure what approach he's going to take, but I think it's going to be pretty decent. I've seen him on TV before, and I thought he was pretty damn good.
Yeah,
for a coach.
I'm sure he'll do a really good job, and maybe it's ultimately where he belongs. Maybe that's going to be a better place for him.
Wow. That's it. All right, but my loser of the weekend, Charles Leclerc. Did you watch?
I did not. I did not, but I love whenever he makes your list. It's awesome.
Ferrari's just figuring out new ways to lose races. So he starts P3. They're at the Hungarian Grand Prix, but it was pretty clear about, through the first third of the race, he had the best car, had the best pace of anyone on the track, took the lead. I think it was around lap 30-ish, 31, and blows by George Russell. Looked like Leclerc was going to cruise until his team, Ferrari, decided, hey, you know what? We're going to switch him onto some hard tires. Couldn't get the grip he wanted. His pace dropped way off. He called the hard tires shit on the radio, which, reminder, Charles Leclerc's radio is the best part about a Formula One broadcast. It is the gift that keeps on giving. But it seemed, and I'm not an expert, but just from what I was hearing from the announcers and what I was reading after the race, it seemed like that decision from his team essentially lost him the race. And he's had the best pace of anyone this year. And they figured out so many different ways to lose. Somehow he's still second in the driver's standing, even though he's had one podium in the last 8 races, Ted. Everything, like his engine's blown up. He's made some mistakes. Now his team has made mistakes. Like, it's just everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for Charles Leclerc.
Why did they move to hard tires if he still was clocking the best lap speed?
I don't know. And everyone that went to hards appeared to immediately regret their decision. It was a little wet. I don't know. I was confused because he was just cruising. I was like, well, and this was just me being, a novice observer of the sport. I was like, why would they change anything? He's faster than everyone else. What are they doing? And I don't know. Strategy, Ted. Strategy. There's your answer.
Did they say that they went to a firmer polymer rolling unit instead of hard tires?
But you'll love this. They spell tire with a Y.
Yeah.
Which is sweet. It actually is sweet. I kind of wish we spelled tire with a Y.
Yeah, that is good. It gives it a little, it sounds a little tougher, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little spicier, right? Like tire. Makes me say it like that instead of tire. It's tire, which is dumb.
It almost looks like a name of a fighter or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But guess who won?
Oh yeah. Well, it has to be. It's either Hamilton or Verstappen.
Verstappen started in 10th, ended up
Oh,
winning, and he
really?
almost kind of like almost fully spun out and still won. But your boy Lewis Hamilton, I know you're a big Hamilton guy. Back-to-back P2s for Lewis Hamilton. George Russell, another podium. Mercedes starting to figure some things out.
Well,
Ferrari's got to be getting nervous about Mercedes.
well, yeah. Just stop screwing things up. Like they don't have a car problem. They have a pit management problem.
You know when coaches or just I guess any coach in general say things like, it's not OU versus Alabama, it's OU versus OU.
Yep.
That I feel like that's Ferrari right now. They're their own worst enemy. It's like it's not Ferrari versus Red Bull and Mercedes, right? It's Ferrari versus Ferrari right now, and they're beating the hell out of themselves.
Yeah, well, it was Ferrari versus the Hungarian Grand Prix. Like you're just clocking. All you need to do is clock the fastest times, and you were doing that, and you decided to tie one of your hands behind your back for some reason. Unbelievable.
Maybe we just
a failure all the way across the board from the analytics side.
There you go. There, see, that's people tune into this podcast for deep F1 analysis from you like that.
Here's what you have to do. Every racing situation, all you have to do is go back and look at Days of Thunder, and the answer is right there, right? Whenever he comes on and he tells Cole Trickle to slow down, you're going to burn up the tires. And one of the pit guys says, actually, he's maintaining the same pace. It's everyone else who's getting slower. And he says, you know what? That's right. You're doing exactly what you need to do, Cole. Keep doing what you're doing. It's right there. They just need to go watch Days of Thunder for a refresher.
Well, we'll try to get this to Ferrari's people. I'm sure they haven't thought of that. But hey, it'll sadden you to know that next F1 race, not till August 28th. Summer break.
It's got to be coming to Austin soon, right?
Summer break in Formula One.
Yeah. It's fine. Let those guys enjoy the summer a little bit, recharge the batteries, fire the necessary people on the analytics side at Ferrari, fire the people that made the Mercedes porpoise that they haven't figured out yet. Well, I guess they've slowly figured it out, but it set them back so much. Unbelievable.